Let's talk about Tulsi. She went on The View, fam. Some of your favorite people are on The View. Donnie, I think you want to talk about, play this little clip here.
Joy. She used to be a Bernie supporter.
Joy Behar was one of my favorites. I used to see Joy Behar go on Bill Maher all the time, and she was one of my favorite progressives at the time.
Oh my gosh.
But the problem is people stay in their own bubble and they live in their own bubble. They don't forget what it's like to be poor. They forget what it's like to not have health care. They forget what it's like to not stretch their dollar to buy the house milk instead of a good brand milk, or to buy knockoff products instead of the. I'm serious, because they have to do these things because they're pinching dollars and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When the choices are just like, hey man, I got to buy the supermarket toilet paper because it's $2 less than the regular good toilet paper that might be better for me. You know what I'm saying? We have issues, and these people like Joy Behar, they haven't been in that. They've been outside that bubble for a long time, like Bill Maher. And they forgot what it's like to be poor. And rather than standing up to the establishment, they go ahead and they wag their finger at poor people and people who have no power and say they got to get on board and just vote to get out Donald Trump. But Trump, they're still living on this. Yeah. And Joy has been so off kilter and been so wrong towards Tulsi Gabbard. I'm glad that Tulsi went in. And you know, Tulsi, she got a little savage on her. Let's take a look at the video here.
Yeah, right. So let me put some context
Johnny, put some
here.
Context in Show your picture, baby.
So basically, when
beautiful tsunami
this
face.
This is the wrong one. I made a new one. Did you guys see that?
What's that?
There it is. This is the new one.
There it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody say hi to Johnny Sue. Give some thumbs up and some loves for Johnny Sue. Saul goes, go ahead.
So basically, remember back when the whole Hillary and Tulsi thing happened, right?
Yep.
Basically, everyone was talking about it in the news, right?
Yep.
And we did a video on it. We were live streaming, and then I was like, oh, hey, did you know that they talked about it on The View? And so this is that clip here that they talked about it on The View back in October 21st.
We watched this, me and you together.
This is just a little context to what Joy Behar said, what she says.
She's just going after Hillary. And like you said, Hillary was right about almost everything. She's been exonerated with that nonsense that they pulled about her server already. So, you know, and this idea that she's doing this to get back in the race, that she said that also, Tulsi. I don't buy that either. I don't think Hillary wants to go through it again. So I think that there's something, I don't say that Tulsi is an agent. I just think that she could be a useful idiot the way Trump is a useful idiot to the Russians. Yeah. That they see something. They say, oh, look, a useful idiot. Let's play this. And another point, the Republican Party knows that they cannot win without interference from Russia. And
she's so, what happened to this friggin' woman? What happened? This is that, you know, I'll let Tulsi slay her.
Right. So she called Tulsi a useful idiot back then. Yeah. So
no, you know what she said too that was most disgusting than anything? That Hillary was cleared of everything. What are you not paying attention to, lady? Are you really that freaking demented? I mean, you could say that Donald Trump is corrupt, but freaking so is Hillary Clinton. What is this whole level of that hypocrisy? Like the guest yesterday. Oh, I can't believe that you're going to sit here after you've been an apologist to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and excusing all their mess ups, that you're going to say that this level of atrocity and hypocrisy that Donald Trump is so much worse than ours. Get the F out of here.
Yeah, it was disgusting. So then today, as of 3 hours ago, Tulsi was on there, and The View only released like an 8-minute clip of it.
Yeah.
But I got the whole thing for our viewers. So,
Johnny Sue, you know,
this is what we're gonna do.
We're gonna ones and twos.
We're gonna play most of it, and we'll stop it when you guys see fit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Hawaiian Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard's presidential campaign has gotten both sides of the aisle fired up for different reasons, and she's joining us back at the Hot Topics table right now. Please welcome Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard. So, before I ask you the first question, what's happening with the telescope and the stuff?
Oh gosh, the challenge is ongoing. The challenge is ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What is that?
So,
just explain.
they decided. It was decided that they were going to go on sacred land.
Oh yeah.
And put up a telescope and do all this stuff. And the Hawaiians said, no, you're not going to do that. So it's been a fight. Tulsi's been at the forefront, and I try to bring it up. you know,
I remember.
when I can, because I think sacred land is sacred land. You can't, you can't
Anyway.
mess with it. So I have to ask you this instead. So we were just talking about EU Ambassador Sondland changing his testimony yesterday, that he had to be refreshed about quid pro quo, and you've been skeptical more than a lot of the Democrats about the impeachment inquiry. Were you surprised by what he did yesterday?
Well, look, the facts are important, and we'll get to that. I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts, because recently on your show here...
I was just going to get to that.
Good. Helping you out.
You want me to ask you the question?
No, look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a
We haven't accused you.
useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
We're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why
you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost. That's why I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton, just to put this in context of what we're talking about. Let's take a look at that.
All right, let's break this down a little bit before we get into the clip, because now they're going to play that stupid, oh, I wasn't you game. But before we even get to that dumb shit.
You see how just off the bat, she just...
Yeah. Tulsi went right after it, and then Joy was like...
Tulsi knew that they were going to do that. So she knew that they were... Tulsi's very smart. And I love that she said, I am a patriot woman of color. And you know what? Tulsi never uses identity politics. And I love that about her, because she doesn't lead with it. Yeah. She doesn't just say, "Oh, you should elect me because I'm a woman," or "You should elect me because I'm Samoan," or "You should elect me because I'm a woman of color." You should elect me because these are my policies and this is what I believe in. And that's what she leads with. And they forced her to say, "I'm a woman of color," because guess what? She's not a woman of color to these Democrats, these establishment Democrats that constantly attack her and constantly put Kamala as the woman of color, as the victim, and they dismiss Tulsi as if she doesn't count. And so now she's using that against them, like, I'm a woman of color, so here I am. Yeah. Like, attack me now.
Yeah, well, I like...
that was great.
It's awesome. And I noticed the same thing, because I saw you say it, because I was like, she doesn't lead with that stuff. That's not important to her.
Yeah.
She understands that the people are going to vote for her not because she is a woman of a color. It's going to vote for her because of her ideologies, her poly position, her heart, her honesty, her character. And those are things that people are going to really matriculate to, because that's the things that matters most. But to put it in their face, like, hey, man, like, you guys always sit here and you play these identity politics. Well, I'm a woman of color, too. And I can just see a lot of people who are watching The View, and I think it's great that she keeps going on, because she is picking up momentum, because it's those people that are sitting with their aunt, that those are the neoliberals that are the niece. They're like, who is this woman? Oh, she's a woman of color. They're starting to look into these things, and they're starting to gravitate to her. And it's like, wow, man, that she stands up to these identity politics all the time, and she's a woman of color
and
herself.
She seems honest. She doesn't come off as a politician. Yeah. She comes off as somebody like, hey, I care. I love my country. And that's what some on the left criticize her for. Oh, she's too patriotic. It's like, well, do you want her to hate America? I mean, I'm not I'm not, like I said before, I'm not like a super like fan of the flag person, etc. But I can take her patriotism because it comes from a sense of wanting to progress. It's not like a jingoistic sort of patriotism, like I love America, I'm never going to criticize America. She's criticizing America constantly,
And that's
but
what a
she
true
still
patriot is.
loves her country, and there's nothing wrong with loving this country.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that clip that you showed from back when Joy Behar was there, not only that, but the lady, I keep forgetting her name, the
Sunny?
Sunny, was disgusting. Was repeating.
She just happened to not be on The View today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That happened, and then she won't be there with him and stuff. She doesn't have the balls to be there and face Tulsi and stuff. But Joy was cheerleading it on. She was propping up all the bullshit. She was joining in. And for Joy to say those things the way she is, Joy Behar, look at me. You're canceled from Pasta Jardula. I held on for a long time. We had our shtick together. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Boca Raton. I let you go. I loved you, lady, but you let me down so badly right now. And for you, and people were saying on our chat that Joy Behar doesn't even realize that she is the useful idiot.
Yep.
Exactly. And, it's great because, Tulsi they started to ask her, a question about the impeachment thing, some bullshit, the Ukraine bullshit. And then she just like, and we'll get to that later. And then she goes into her thing.
Yeah.
Where she's like,
And Joy was like,
She
oh,
drove and
I didn't know we were
controlled.
going to do this.
she took control of the situation.
conversation,
She's
yeah.
like, how dare you try and smear me
Yeah.
and not think that I saw that and
Yeah.
then come here and interview me and then just
Yep.
try to ask me some bullshit questions. No, I'm going in and gonna-
Translation was, the chickens is coming home to roost, Joy Behar.
all right.
We got more?
Yes. Yeah, 10 minutes
Oh,
more.
and big up, props to Whoopi Goldberg. Kind of,
Yeah.
Whoopi's moving in a good way and Joy's moving in a bad way because Whoopi had really pissed me off and I already canceled her years ago. But the fact that she brought up the Mount Kea, the telescope and what's going on, that she's looking into stuff, she's paying attention to some
Whoopi
stuff.
likes
and-
Yang, which
Yeah.
is really interesting.
And big ups to James Roguski for pointing out all that stuff with the telescope. I didn't necessarily agree with his direction on what Tulsi should do, but he was there to point it out and let a lot of progressives know what was going on. So James Roguski has some videos. If you want to go over and see them over there, please go check out James' work. So let's get more to this video, and then we'll have some super chats after.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's a favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
So
Really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service.
So are you surprised, though, that when people see bots and things and all the things that we've sort of been seeing heading your way, that people have these questions? Because she's not the only one. Hillary, I don't think, is the only one. So what she's saying is she feels they are grooming you. You're saying nobody's grooming me. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm a soldier and a patriot.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as a woman, to be so demeaned in
But you
such
called
a way.
her the personification of rock.
So demeaned
She's a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform. I'm speaking out against that and
What's your evidence to that?
to change.
Well, can I?
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
I served in the war
Not
in
you,
Iraq.
her. You're saying that she's-
exactly.
she's a
I served
warmonger. How do
in
you
the
come
war
up with
in
that?
Iraq
Yeah.
that she championed. She championed a regime change war
Did you not
in
believe
Libya.
in that war?
I believe the lies that were told to us.
Well, so did she.
Look,
I mean, like, what's the evidence of that? Are you living in a friggin' bubble? What about freaking Syria? What about Libya? What about Honduras? If you don't know these things, and that's what I'm saying, the level of knowledge of foreign policy from this whole country, fam, it sucks. It stinks like poo-poo.
If people in Honduras can tell me that Hillary Clinton destabilized their country and caused them to move, and they can go, and now they're in the caravans and they're in Tijuana trying to escape the violence in their country that Hillary Clinton caused under the Obama administration. If a person from Honduras who doesn't even speak English can tell me that, and she doesn't know that, that is her privilege. She should be. These Democrats love talking about privilege. You're privileged to not want to vote for anybody to beat Trump. You're privileged. I get called for wanting to challenge the system. No, it's privilege for you to sit down and pretend that none of that is true when the evidence abounds. And you're telling a sitting congresswoman who has lost people close to her, who has put her life on the line for this country. How does she know? Well, she knows because she was entirely affected by it her whole life, and all of our lives now have been entirely affected by the actions of people like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. John, you got the video?
This is what you need to see. This is what you need to see, Joy.
This is all you need to see.
This is all you need to see, Joy.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
Disgusting.
She's a psychopath. She's a fucking, she is literally the rot. She's the queen of the Democratic Party, the queen of the warmongers. Tulsi was nice. I would have described her far worse.
We have, by the way, 317 people watching on the MCNES-SC network on YouTube and 277 people watching on the CONVO couch.
Fam, you saying we have over 600 people live watching
We
right
do,
now?
because we got 20 people watching, including Sarah Williams. We love her.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah Williams.
Sarah Williams. Should we finish up this video, Johnny?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
There's still like 8 minutes left of this
go.
video. You know, we gotta hear this.
Okay.
It's good stuff. It gets even better.
It is indisputable. It is indisputable to say anything other than the fact that Hillary. Let me just close this out. That Hillary Clinton, throughout her career, has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that. I'm running for president to change that. Rather than actually debate me on the issues, she and others are resorting to these smear tactic campaigns, seeking to undermine me, smear my character, and sending a message to anyone who dissents: toe the line, or you too will be smeared.
One thing you have not been afraid to do, and look, this is what the show's for, so thank you for coming on. This is what these conversations are for. But one thing that you've not been afraid to do is go up against your own party. Yeah. You even threatened to boycott the last debate. You say that the process has been rigged. Do you think it's been rigged against you? And would you ever run as an independent? Because you heard Hillary Clinton say that. There are other people that think that that's something that you will ultimately do.
No. Very clearly, and I've said no every time for months that I've been asked that question.
If the party's rigged against you?
Because I'm running to build a new Democratic Party, to take our party out of the hands of the corporate special interests, the greed, and the warmongers, and actually make it so that our Democratic Party is a party that is of, by, and for the people, fighting for peace. Our party used to be the peace party. What happened to that? Actually be the party for the people, protecting our planet and fighting for peace.
Yeah, well, I think my biggest problem among many with Hillary's comments were if that were something people in Congress actually believed, there should be an investigation.
Exactly.
And they're not doing that, and I think you can't just throw things like that, which is trafficking in McCarthyism all the way. The term Russian asset goes back to the McCarthy era, and we can't be doing that to people who are veterans across the board.
Or to anyone.
Yes, to anyone, but specifically the only female combat veteran running for office. You evoke really strong reactions from people. I know what that's like, from the left and the right. And you seem to be a threat to both sides. Why do you think you trigger so many people in so many different ways? Because I don't completely understand it, but I myself am a trigger, so maybe that's why I don't get it.
Because I'm speaking truth to power, and those in power know they can't control me. So they view me and the truth that I'm speaking as a threat to that power base. Whether you're talking about the military-industrial complex or the political elite who are in power in both political parties in Washington, those who would rather do all they can to maintain their own selfish special interests, to include self-serving politicians, rather than actually being a champion for, being a voice for, and speaking up for the people in this country who are struggling and who are facing many great challenges and who I'm seeking to serve.
All right.
We're going to break.
All right.
We'll be back with more.
Quick.
Let's stop. You know, when Meghan McCain, first of all, Meghan, if something doesn't happen with your relationship, and I'm single, hit me up when you say words like that.
Oh, people are gonna
No.
cancel pasta now.
No, I know,
because-
but that's not the truth. But when Meghan McCain has the best, talking point on The View, I think it's time for everybody else on that panel to rethink their lifestyle and where they're going. I mean, I think Whoopi has definitely had a pretty decent show over here, but everybody else, if Meghan McCain
is the voice of reason,
exactly, then we got some issues on the left.
Like,
we got some serious issues on the friggin' left.
you guys gotta be like, I
Please.
mean, you can't stay in this neoliberal hole of like Russia, and like, and Tulsi made the clear point that I wanted her to make. She's like, because Meghan said, "Oh, I don't understand all of it. Like, well, you're attacked on the left and the right." Tulsi's like, because I'm speaking truth to power. Yeah. Saying those words, first of all, that is an activist call. Like, activists out there, we say truth to power. We got to speak truth to power. Saying that is a big deal for me. Number one. Number two, saying that it's both parties, it's both people, the establishment is why, because I'm challenging them and they can't control me. She's letting you all know that it's the powers that be, and it doesn't matter whether they have an R or a D next to their name if they're establishment.
Anthony Penza says, "Thank you and appreciate the great work that you are doing," and we appreciate the Super Chat contribution. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Oh wow, you said it different. Thank you. It was refreshing.
Well, I mean, there's some other super chats that I can get to that we can definitely hit this here. Let's see this one right here. Did I miss one? It says Baltazar. Hey, Baltazar, where you been? Funny how the one calling everyone criticizing her a Russian asset is herself Russian bot. Can we all agree McCain is the useless idiot?
Well, she's not even being an idiot right now. She's actually being the voice of reason. But of course, she didn't have to compare herself to Tulsi because, I mean, that was a little much. But
Philip Blair says, patriotic friend of our Constitution, Tulsi Gabbard, caught Hillary Clinton cheating from within the DNC. Hillary Clinton mad, Hillary Clinton smash. Thank you for the Super Chat contribution, Philip Blair. It is always appreciated.
She said it. She said they cheated. So that's another thing she said.
Johnny, roll the tape. Let's get more.
So we are back with Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard.
So, I just want to straighten a couple of things out. I've never said, and I don't think Hillary Clinton thinks that you're a witting asset. You might be an unwitting asset. Not that that means you're stupid, but people can be used.
Well, that's exactly what it means, though. That's exactly what it means.
The other thing that confuses me, wait, I have one more question. You're on state TV all the time. Why do you go on Fox Channel, which is a propaganda network, 16 times with Tucker Carlson? I never see you with Chris Wallace or that other guy, what's his name, Brett Baer. Well, why aren't you on with them? They're definitely middle of the road. Why do you go on with Tucker, who's a liar and a propagandist?
So let me start with how offensive it is to say that I am a witting or unwitting asset of a foreign country, working against the interests of our people and our country, the country that I am willing to lay my life down for. So if you're saying it's not deliberately, then you are implying that I am too stupid and too naive and lack the intelligence to know what I am doing. That is extremely offensive
Can I get you to put the
me
quote
and to
up?
every
Can you
woman
guys
of color.
put the quote back up? Because I think everyone is sort of missed something.
What are we missing?
Well, I think what you're missing is that that asset had nothing to do with Tulsi. She was talking about Jill Stein.
Actually, her spokesperson confirmed it.
I'm not making it.
They called you a Russian doll.
Her spokesperson confirmed it because some of the media followed up and asked for her spokesperson to say what she meant and confirmed that they were talking about me. So there was no mistaking that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's clear.
Well,
I want to pause it and say,
Please, go, Johnny.
Whoopi was trying to deflect and
from
the fact that Joy called her
a useful
idiot.
And
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, that's Whoopi bad. That's Whoopi being Whoopi, whatnot again. And I hate this whole dance about, oh, well, she really didn't say Tulsi Gabbard. No, they confirmed it was Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Not only after when Tulsi Gabbard said, and by the way, Rob Z left a super chat contribution saying that Tulsi qualifies for the November debate, Tulsi 20 in Westwood, California, right? Is that true?
Did she?
Tulsi qualifies for the November debate.
That
had to happen right
Maybe
now.
that's breaking news.
That has to be. Well, we'll look into that one now.
We looked into it and she hadn't. So.
But they still have always tried to do this dance around of, oh, she really didn't mean him. She wasn't talking about her and whatnot and stuff. But Tulsi wasn't having it. She squashed it right away. She went after Joy. And Joy, once again, with the whole like, oh, Fox TV is propaganda news. It's terrible. What is MSNBC? What is CNN?
Right.
Tulsi can't even get the fair platform over there because as soon as she goes on there, they start talking about the Assad apologist shit. It's terrible. It's disgusting.
And she's running for president of the United States. She's running to get these independent votes, these Republican votes. Bernie got some crap when he went to the Fox town hall because that was the dumbest thing. Even when he went on Joe Rogan, people were giving him shit for it. And all it did is help him. Republicans like Bernie. Independents like Bernie. Same with Tulsi. They're able to talk because they have the policies to back them up. They're not just able to rely on identity politics and baseless platitudes that serve no purpose other than to just fill a void. And we need to talk to people we don't agree with. I can't say that enough. And they know that and they understood that. And I think, you know, bashing her for that is ridiculous when Tucker Carlson treats her better than any of the CNN pundits do. Sadly, but he does.
And not for nothing, Tucker Carlson has done probably better work than most people on CNN and MSNBC, especially when it comes to foreign policy. Okay,
and Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Yeah, I mean he's gone to those places. Well, no, there's been a few people on the right have done some good work on the right when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fox News,
because the left is not allowed to speak about Jeffrey Epstein, and matter of fact, they're allowed to go there and make jokes about it and tell people that they're crazy.
Because who was
laugh with Trevor Noah about Hillary Clinton killing people.
Because who was on the Lolita Express 27 times?
Oh, that was Bill Clinton. I'm saying, which we'll talk about more too as well because there's
nobody's praising Tucker Carlson because I know we're gonna get that. Oh, why are you praising Tucker Carlson? He's a racist. Yeah,
I'm not praising him.
That's exactly.
But I'm telling you, he's done some good work on foreign policy and has asked some good questions. Okay.
And I think he is also the kind of person that's just a freaking caricature to his base, and that's what he is. That's what a lot of these people are. You know, Tommy Lahren and Anna Kasparian are friends in real life. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
How can she be friends with a racist? Well, maybe because these people are all full of shit. It's just all for show, and you know, it's the unfortunate thing. Let's continue.
Yeah.
The quote that we saw, I'm sorry, I just want to point out the quote that we saw wasn't...
Well, they never named her. They never named her.
She's talking, assuming Jill Stein will give it up, but she might not because she's also a Russian.
I mean, this was crazy. After that quote was made, media across spectrums were reporting about what Hillary Clinton just said about Tulsi Gabbard. You raised the second issue about why I go on Fox News.
Yeah.
I go on Tucker Carlson, go on Bret Baier, go on Sean Hannity, go on MSNBC, go on CNN. I am here to speak to every single American in this country about the unifying leadership that I want to bring as president. Not just speak to those who agree with me.
Nice to think that could happen.
To speak with those who may disagree with me, recognizing that I'm asking for the opportunity to serve every single person in this country. We have to come together.
Joy, you used
for
to
our
go on
country
Fox.
and our country's future.
You used to do Fox
outrageous. They lie all the time.
Well,
They're just
I think the reason why so many Republicans respond to you is because you don't treat us like we're garbage. You actually care about the audience and care about reaching out, which to a lot of conservatives, which by the way, you're going to have to win them over to get to the White House one way or another, is important. And I think just negating all of Fox's audience, I called Elizabeth Warren to task on it.
Not their audience.
On
We're talking about Tucker Carlson right now.
I'm there to speak to the audience.
Liars.
They both have some of the largest audiences on television today. But I do want to ask you something else. Kamala Harris said recently that her race and gender are, quote, the elephant in the room, and that many still question if America is ready for a woman, and specifically a woman of color, to be president. And you're also a woman of color. Is that, you feel, been a problem for you? Do you agree with her?
No, I think the American people are ready for a president that will put people ahead of politics, put people ahead of profits.
Then why is she saying that, you think?
You have to ask Kamala that. I can't speak to why she's saying that. But what I've seen in our travels across New Hampshire, we just came from New Hampshire yesterday, across the early states, we have some New Hampshire people here, is we are building a coalition of support that is very diverse. Yes, it crosses party lines. People who are looking out for the best interests of our country, which, by the way, makes me the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump so that we can then begin to do the very important work that begins the morning after to bring about the systemic change we need to see to take our government back from the rich and powerful who control it and make it so our government is truly of, by, and for the people.
So day one.
So yeah, let's just really quickly.
We'll just power through it, and then we'll make a little comments on it after.
Well, okay.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Kamala, of course, that's all she has.
Yeah.
Is the identity politics,
course.
and the Tulsi's not gonna say that, but you know. That's all Kamala has. And notice she has mentioned she's a woman of color, but now she's not dwelling on it. She's like, I'm the person that's going to represent people, etc. And Meghan McCain, again, being the voice of reason, saying, hey, like, you know, they have a big audience that you have to talk to everybody. Tulsi just reiterating what we've been saying here, that we need to talk to everybody. And Elizabeth Warren refused to go to that town hall. And that to me says so much about how she is going to lose to Donald Trump. The only person, and the reason I always say Bernie is the best guy to beat Trump, but I also think Tulsi can beat him. And here's the thing. She's never considered in these polls against Donald Trump. They only consider Biden, Bernie, and Warren. So when I see that, I'm usually like, oh yeah, Bernie's the one that can beat out of those three. But if Tulsi were considered, I would also say she can beat Donald Trump, specifically because like Bernie, they have crossover appeal. Yeah. And I would even say her appeal is even more diverse because she has been her tactic has been to kind of reach everybody, Republicans more than just the centrist think tanks. So. Yeah.
Well, somebody said on our chat, like, Tucker Carlson's the only one to speak up against the military-industrial complex on TV and the elites, whatnot. So, you know, once again, the truth is the truth, no matter whose mouth it's coming out of. You might not like Tucker Carlson on certain things.
I don't like what he says, and on race and immigration, I can't stand what he says. I consider his comments racist. I consider his comments derogatory, especially as someone, you know, as an immigrant, and I hate it. But when he's right on certain things, you know, and that's the thing. And the sad part is she has to go on shows like that because they're not giving her the time of day in the left media.
Do you want to finish this up, or is there anything else?
There's just a minute left.
Let's finish out the last minute.
Let's just finish this up.
Day one, you wake up as president. Do you say, first 5 big companies are going to return money to the people who are here? Maybe mixing up some of Andrew Yang's plan of how to do that. Do you say you're going to be able to write stuff off again so you can take your family on vacation if you need to? Is that your day one?
Yeah, I think day one starts with making it so that, for example, with healthcare, we do not have big insurance and big pharma at the table as we're writing legislation to make sure that our healthcare policies are actually serving people and not driving up their profits.
But you're going to give us some money back?
Yes. The money, look, this is a fact, though. The money has been going. You have all these tax loopholes and giveaways that we saw with the last tax bill that was passed by Trump and the Republicans that were, by and large, a huge, huge boon to those with the very most and leaving the rest of us behind, maybe with a few crumbs along the way. It's completely changing the paradigm of what our government is doing and who we're serving. Right.
So day
putting
one,
people first.
You putting us back.
Day one and every day that follows.
You're also not going to take my gun. Appreciate that too.
Well, it's kind of funny too there, right there, Johnny, because, you know, I think she's listening to Fiorella. You know, Fiorella says, I think Tulsi might be listening. Well, she's listening to you. She read the audience in the room. Day one. And when Whoopi Goldberg said those things out of her mouth, I immediately I wanted to go to Mark Sleboda and say, what were the 5 things she will do the first 5 days of her presidency, which she can do? Because when you look at the Constitution, we talk about Commander-in-Chief, the powers. They direct the FBI, they direct the CIA. Yep. She doesn't need to go back to Congress. She doesn't need to sit in a room to get stuff done when it comes to that, so she can save a lot of money right off the bat.
We were talking about this the other day.
Yes.
What can
the president do?
What is it within the power? We have to look at the history. What have presidents done before?
Yes.
And then we can lay out a plan
Exactly.
for the president to take on day one.
And I think it would be an awesome game to play with Mark Slobodin. I'm going to send him out. Hopefully next time on the show, he can say we can pull the troops out of here. We can lift the sanctions over here. We can do these things that a president can do. Because even in fact, with the AUMF, and Congress has given the president more powers as commander-in-chief to just go to war without even the permission from Congress. So that's where a lot of the powers lay. But, fam, she's listening to you. She looked to the audience. She said, day one, I'm going to go after the tax cuts, right? I'm going to go after what he did tax-wise and put money back into everyday people so we can have health care. Yeah. So she was reading the room, and she understands that those are the most pressing issues on people. They really should be the other way around. I think they should be more about where we're concentrated on because that's where the power lies. But she's understanding that that is the key issue.
Yeah, it's immediate
Medicare
concerns.
for all.
Yeah,
it's
immediate concerns. People are
minds.
dying. People need to eat. It's all these things. And again, that's what she needed to do. And she is listening. You're right. She is listening to us.
Yes.
She's reading the room.
Oz LaFave says they get view of what courage looks like. Courage.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the audience is kind of liking her, and that's the thing. Tulsi is appealing because you can't put her on a box. You can't say, "Oh, she's this, she's that." Like she's criticizing both parties, and that's what we need to do is criticize both parties, not just focus on Donald Trump, but focus on what got him elected, right?
Yeah. And Meghan McCain, the voice of reason on the View.
This is ridiculous. Never would have thought. I severely dislike this woman, and I think lately she's just been understanding things and progressing on her ideas, whether it's an act or not, far more than any of her cohorts. And Peter Douche too, or Peter Dow. He's been attacking the Democratic Party and blah blah blah. Well, Peter Douche is a better version.
And she said something that really resonated with me because we've had some fights within the Democratic Party here in California, and some party recently just called me trash because she said my candidate was trash and I was trash for supporting it. Meghan McCain came out and said it. She goes, I think the thing that's great about you is that you realize that you don't call us garbage. You don't put us in a box. You realize that you have to win us over to get us to get involved with you. And she says that I'm going to be the president for all Americans, not just the Democrats and stuff like that. And the fact that she doesn't demonize and she goes and talks to them, and the fact that Joy Behar is speaking out against her going to talk on Fox when she used to go on Fox herself all the time. Please, she's so canceled. But thank you, Meghan McCain, because even though I haven't liked you and a lot of views and a lot of the ways...
Now he wants to go on a date, so Meghan McCain,
she's married.
Send him your...
And she says she still wants to keep her guns. And
that's the thing.
I don't want to get shot.
It's funny she says that because Tulsi has said she wants to have a little more strict control on guns than just simple
common sense
legislation like what Bernie wants.
Exactly.
She doesn't want to have a gun buyback. In other words,
but she doesn't. She's not gonna literally go and Beto your guns. And I say Beto because he was like, I'm gonna take these.
Now
guns.
you can. But once again, here's the thing. When it comes to, I believe, when it comes to all these mass shootings, all these things going crazy. All roads lead to Rome. It's economic unrest. When people don't have resources, when they have to fight, when they're economically cut off, they start blaming people that don't look like them. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that enrage kind of starts. I'm not saying it's the root cause of it. I am saying it's the root cause.
But
there might be other issues.
Cause,
it's not the only cause, but it is the root cause. Because when people are suffering and therefore, resources are pulled for them, they start the people start attacking each other.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing when I always say don't play the game of the elites. Their number one game is to pit us against each other so they can steal and run off with all the resources.
And the gun issue is such a it's like people are never going to agree on that, but what people do agree on is we need some sort of legislation, and we also need to fix our economy so everybody has the mental health care they need. So we're not just giving guns away like it's like in Florida where you can just go buy a gun and and not have anything checked. I mean, it's like it's all systemic. These are all systemic issues happening. Yeah. It's not just isolated events because other countries have as many guns as we do, and they do not have the level of mass shootings that we have. And it's a vital concern to have. I mean, especially to people that have been affected by it. So, I mean, I think what Tulsi and what people like Bernie are doing is they're having common sense legislation. They're not saying like others who are like, oh, we're going to take all guns away or we're going to cancel all guns. I mean, that's just not a realistic thing to do.
Yeah.
So I was seeing in the chats, people were like, oh, who watches The View? And, I'm grateful for our viewers and our subscribers and everybody. We're in a good bubble here. All we Door fans, you know, everybody, Kyle Kalinske, but we're a bubble, you know. A lot of people watch The View.
Yeah.
And what I like what Carly D said here. She said The View is for middle-aged housewives who barely pay attention to politics.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then let's see. Mike Walker said The View has the largest audience of any political news broadcast, and then
It's
even
a lot
in
of women.
even in the commercial, in between this segment, they claim that they're the most, you know, biggest political TV show on the network, on TV or whatever.
Yeah. They are. They are.
So the fact that Tulsi can just come on there and just really just present herself as a strong leader, which is what she is, the most important political TV show in America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And here's something too that's really great too as well, as I think she's dolling herself up a little bit more to look, you know what I'm saying, to really connect. Tulsi is analytical as can be, man. She is thinking, she's playing chess, you know what I'm saying? So she understands that there are voters out there that she can grab. And even the way she attacks, you know, Joy and put her in a place in a very calm, cool way, where it's not
like,
too, it's not tacky or
her
tasteless.
voice
not over the
doesn't
top
like
and,
raise to a certain level. She gets more
Presidential.
stern, but she's still very like composed about it, and that's the military thing, and that's what a lot of people criticize about her, like how she's not emotional enough. But at the same time, it's like if a woman is too emotional, they also criticize that too. So let her be. This is the way she is. This is a military thing, and I think, you know, and I think you're seeing more. She's opening up more. You're seeing more of that side. You know, people like to see emotions to a degree, a little bit, to have that empathy show. And I think she's reading the room better, as you said, and she's showing a little bit more.
She's listening to you, fam. She's reading the room. She's reading the room. 342 people watching on the CONVO Couch YouTube. We have almost 400 people watching on the MCSE network.
And then just to end the show, the last thing I want to do is just show this real quick. The berry Brusa is a wild pig whose tusks can grow so long they curve backwards, ultimately impaling their skulls and accidentally killing themselves. Unlike Jeffrey Epstein, who was killed on purpose.
That's funny.
Hashtag
Got him.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.